Good morning, children. How are you all? Hope all of you are fine. I'm Radhika, your biology teacher. I have been teaching biology to you all, isn't it? So, you all have been watching the videos that we are sending? Okay, very nice. So, I have been teaching the second chapter, that is plant tissues. Okay, in that I had explained about tissues definition and the different types of tissues. Basically, I had explained. So, what is a tissue? A tissue is a group of cells having similar structure and perform similar function. Okay, so this group of tissues, so in a multicellular organism, we can see that there is division of labor. Okay, so this division of labor is there so that the organism as a whole can perform or conduct the life process very nicely and easily. So I have explained about the tissues, and we had observed the onion peel and the beetle leaf, and we have seen how the groups of cells can be different from each other, isn't it? So as part of that, I had also shown the onion root tip growing. So now today I will teach about the meristematic tissue. The meristematic tissue. So what is this meristematic tissue? Okay, see, we can consider that the plant would be growing, but do all parts of the plant grow continuously? Like leaf can grow to certain extent, after that it doesn't grow, but you can see the growth of new branches. Then you would be seeing that the stem would be growing upward. Similarly, the roots are growing deeper and deeper. Okay, so this particular places wherever there is growth, okay, there we can find the cells to be dividing more and more. Okay, the cells are actively dividing, their number is increased. Why the number has to increase? The number has to increase for the growth of the plant, whether it is the root, stem, new branches, okay, or new leaves have to arise, or the flowers have to arise, fruits have to arise. All these need the growth, and for growth what is needed? Cell division. Cells have to multiply. Okay, from one cell to two cells, two to four, four to eight, like that they multiply. As they grow, okay, as they divide, they multiply, they tend to grow new parts of the plant. So in those regions where we can see the active growth of the plant, we can find this meristematic tissue. We can find this meristematic tissue. Okay, see, in the first chapter I had written about I had written everything in a tabular manner. Do you remember? I had given the cell organelle characteristics, isn't it? So just like that, here also in the tissues chapter also, if you write the type of tissue and its characteristics, it is very easy for you all to understand. Okay, if you want to read the textbook as a story, you will get confused. It is difficult to remember so many terms and all. So if at all you write in a tabular form, it is easy for you all to learn. So before writing on the board, I would like to explain about the meristematic tissue. Okay, so as I told, it helps in the division, isn't it? That means what? Why this division is needed, and why only with the meristematic tissue it is there. So for this, I would like you all to consider one example. You all know about the different professions, isn't it? People take up different types of professions. Some could become lawyers, some could become doctors, some engineers, some could become an accountant, some teachers, like that. On what basis do we all become like that? On what basis do we become only one particular type? Initially, when we are going to the school, to a particular class, we all are learning the same subjects only, or not? All are having the same subjects like languages, English, Hindi, Telugu. Then we have got math, science, social. All these are common for everyone. So after that, what happens? Some of the students may like science subjects, so they may take science. Okay, some may like only math, science, maths combination. Some may like the art subjects, that is social studies. Okay, some may take up commerce subjects, or some may specialize only in the languages. So when these are done, then after that what happens? Those who have taken up the science, maths, they tend to become engineers or doctors or scientists. Okay, like this, those professions they have taken up. If someone has studied social studies very well, they may become historians, or they may become geologists. Okay, or they could get into a job wherein the economics is needed. Okay, into the business. Okay, so like this we see that people, or some are very good, they have specialized in literature, in English or Hindi or Telugu, so they become the literate specialist in the literature. Okay, so they are able to write very well, or they are able to teach the languages. Like this, we see that they have specialized. So, if can I expect a historian to teach you physics? Can I expect a historian, a person who has specialized in history, can he teach you physics or biology? A biology teacher may not be good at civics or economics. Okay, so why it is like that? That means what, initially all of us are same, but as we grow older, we specialize in a particular thing. So here, the subjects that I study, okay, we study, I can compare that to the structure of the cells. Okay, the structure of the tissue. Okay, so a particular type of tissue, say the dermal tissue will have a specific characteristics. If it is the simple permanent tissue, yesterday I had told about the ground tissue. Do you remember? Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. So all the parenchyma cells will be more or less similar in the structure. Okay, and why the structure is similar? Why that specific structure is there for the parenchyma or for the dermal cells, dermal tissue, or for the sclerenchyma is because of the function they must perform. Okay, what type of function they are performing, based on that, their structure will vary. Similarly, see, as I told that the subjects we have taken up, depending upon that, we are choosing our profession. Okay, we are choosing our profession based on the structure. Okay, so based on the function. Okay, so here we have taken up that, so we are able to perform those functions or those professions. Just like that, the tissues are also depending upon the function, their structure would be varying. Now, why the meristematic tissue then? So this meristematic tissue has the speciality. Okay, see, the meristematic tissue, as I told, it is present in the regions where the growth occurs with the help of cell division. So new cells are continuously formed. So these new cells have the capacity to grow into any type of tissue. Okay, they can grow, they would get, after the division is over, groups of cells are there, then they are divided into different groups. Just like we put them into the science group, arts group, or language group, like that, these cells are put into different groups. Okay, they would be specializing. Some of the new cells that are formed could be forming the dermal tissue, some are forming the parenchyma, some are forming the sclerenchyma. Like this, they all are specialized. Once they are specializing, they will attain the special structure. Okay, then they would be attaining the special structure, and once they attain the special structure, they cannot perform other functions. Say for example, the parenchyma cells are there. Okay, they have to undergo photosynthesis. Okay, now I cannot expect that the dermal tissue or the sclerenchyma tissue to undergo photosynthesis, because that is the speciality of the parenchyma cells. Similarly, xylem has to carry water. Now parenchyma cells will not be carrying the water. Okay, so like this, once they attain the specialization, they will be performing that function only. And if at all they have to divide, they can divide to form that type of cell only, but not any type of cell. That is why the meristematic tissue is needed in the plant body, in the actively growing regions. Understood? So first I just divide basically, and then I will explain. Yesterday I told that the meristematic tissue is of three types. What are those? First one is apical meristem. Apical meristem. One is lateral meristem. One is apical meristem, one is lateral meristem, one is intercalary. One is intercalary meristem. Okay, three types of meristematic tissue we have seen. Okay, so where is this lateral meristem, intercalary or apical meristem present? As the name suggests, the first one is apical meristem, which is present at the root tip and the shoot tip. So here I have got a young plant, a very small young plant, wherein you could be seeing the roots to be growing. See how long the root is. The plant is only this much, but the root is so long, and this root would be growing further deeper as the plant grows upwards. So in this region, you can see that this region, yesterday also I have shown the root tips, isn't it? Onion root tips. So at the tip of these roots, you can find the meristematic tissue. Okay, it is present in the root tip. Similarly, you can see in the shoot tip. Okay, see. Can you all see? You can see, take any plant at home which is a young growing plant, At that tip you could be seeing this one. Can you all see? See, I have focused on that. See, at the tip of this you could be finding such a thing. See, can you all see here, children? See, in this region you could be finding. See, this is the tip of the stem where I have indicated the pen. Okay, so this is the tip. So here you can see that the tip, the tissue is there which is growing. New leaves to be arising. Okay, small growth of the plant. Okay, further growth, U-shaped growth you could be seeing. Okay, so that is the meristematic tissue, that is called as the apical meristem. Similarly, one more also I will show, that is there with me. Okay, the mango branch I have brought. See, in this region also you could be finding very nicely. See, can you all find in the center of this? You can see like this, when I place you could be finding that. See here in this region, okay, where they have arisen, in this region where I have put the tip. So this is a very simple thing. You can take any branch from a plant and see at the tip of this. Okay, here the small region, it is still growing, some growth is there, so it will be growing and forming new branches. Okay, it will be growing taller and taller, like that. At the tip of every branch we can find. Here also you could be finding. So I just fold all the leaves, then you can see very clearly. Can you see here? Very nicely you can see here. Can you see this one? So this is where I have put the pin. So that is the one. Can you see now? This is the one, the apical meristem. Similarly, the roots. Okay, so that is the apical meristem. So the apical meristem is present in the apical meristem is present at the tip of the root and tip of the shoot. The branches, the stem is called as the shoot. Okay, then it helps in the growth of the plant upwards and the roots downwards. How the cells will be in the apical meristematic? So generally in the meristematic tissue, the cells will be very thin walled. Okay, not only for the growth, they also help for the repair. Any branch we cut, from there we see that new branch again comes after few days, isn't it? So there, that is helping for the repair. Okay, not only for the growth but also for the repair. So they are very thin walled. The cell tissue is very thin walled. We can see a prominent nucleus. Yesterday I also told that wherever there is growth or the cell division, the nucleus is very prominent, showing that there more cell division is occurring, and for that the nucleus is needed. Okay, next one, and there is abundant amount of cytoplasm. So these are the basic characteristics of the meristematic tissue. In that, the apical meristem will also have similar characteristics. Now the next one is in lateral meristem. Okay, that lateral meristem means what? We see that the branch. Okay, the branch or the stem is there. At the lower part of the plant, it is wide. As we go to the higher part, it is thinner. Okay, so why it is wider? Why is it wider at the bottom? Because there is not only the lengthwise growth, there is sidewise growth, or that is called as the growth of the girth. G-A-R-T-H, girth. Okay, so that means what? The stem is growing upwards, downwards the roots are growing, and it also grows sideways. That's why we see that the or at the bottom of the trees, they are very wide, isn't it? As we go to the upper parts of the tree, they are narrower and narrower. So as they grow older, they become wider and wider. So this place, that means where that meristematic tissue would be present. So in that case, if we consider a cut, a TS or a transverse section of a stem. See here I have taken one such stem. Okay, the mango. Okay, here you can see that it is wider. But if you compare here, it is narrower. Is it or not? Here it is wider, here it is narrower. Here also it is narrower. Why? Because here it is older. Here it is new. Okay, more recent one. This branch is more recent one. This is an older one. From this older one, the new branches are arising. So as they are arising, Okay, now this one is getting older and older, so sideways also it is growing. So for that, if we take a section, so consider that I just show it like this. See in the center, if this is the circular section of the stem, in the center you will have one ring of tissue. Inside this you have one ring of tissues which act as meristematic tissue. So they would be growing, okay, so that the stem becomes wider and wider. Consider one simple circle is there. Okay, like this one simple circle is there. So this is the stem. I have taken a section of a. Okay, this is a stem I have taken the section. So in that I find this meristematic tissue to be present like this. Now what happens? This will be growing, producing more cells surrounding that. Okay, as it is producing more cells, what happens after few days? The stem has to increase in the size like this. As it is producing more cells, layers and layers of cells are being produced. What happens? The stem would be increasing in the width, or it becomes more wider and wider. Okay, so that layer that is, or the ring of cells or the tissue that is there in the stem, okay, or in the roots also, that is called as lateral meristem. That will be called as lateral meristem. Again, I'll be giving the diagram in the table, don't worry. Okay, that is the lateral meristem. First one, as I told, where it will be? It will be at the tip of the stem. If you consider the stem, it will be at the tip like this. From here you could be finding new leaves and all coming. So this tip is always there. So that helps in the further growth upwards. Similarly, at the root tip also we see that this is the root tip. We see that at the tip there is continuous growth, and from the primary root there are many secondary roots in a taproot, isn't it? So this is continuously growing. So this is the what is this? Apical meristem. Apical meristem in a root. Okay, and this is the apical meristem in stem. Okay, and this one is the lateral meristem. Now the third one I'll tell. See what happens. You see that there are certain line kind of things here on the stem. Do you find or not? Okay. See, throughout the stem, do you find the leaves to be coming? Here they don't come, here they don't come. The leaves are coming at a particular point. So if you carefully observe, there is thickness of the stem here in this region. Can you see one line kind of a thing? You can observe carefully. Okay, see, I just focus on that. Can you find? See, they are growing. See, in this region where there is a line, here you can find, isn't it? See, this line kind of a thing is there. Or this is the place where you could be finding. See, in this region you could be finding. Again, you could be finding the leaves arising only from a particular place, or from here. Or at the bottom you could be seeing here very clearly it is there. Can you see one line kind of a thing? Okay, this line kind of a thing you can find, isn't it? Again, at the bottom you will find a line kind of a thing. Okay, from there only new branches are arising. Here also one, here also one, here also one. Wherever they are there, from there only the new branches are arising. In between that they don't arise. Okay, so such places where you could be finding such a line kind of a thing, that is in the branches you could be finding like this, isn't it? So those are called as the nodes. They are called as nodes. They are called as node. Okay, so if I show the stem like this, on this I have shown that there is line kind of a thing. So you can take any stem and observe carefully. So in this region only you could be finding new branches to be arising. In between this, okay, so this is one node, this is also one node. In between this, the space that is there, okay, so that space that is there, the distance between these two, okay, this region where there is no node, that is called as internode. That is called as internode. This is the node. So like this throughout the stem we can find many such nodes. Okay, and space between the two nodes, that is called as internode. Okay, all these are internodes. So what is the speciality of this intercalary meristem? In this intercalary meristem, the meristematic tissue would be present in the nodal region. This region you could find the intercalary meristem. As they are there, they help in the development of new branches. From here new branches can arise, but they are absent throughout this region. So in this region we cannot find the development of new branches. Again here there is an internode, sorry, there is a node. So from here again new branches can arise. Okay, whereas in between that the branches cannot arise. So the intercalary meristem would be there at the nodes of the stem. It is present in the nodes of the stem, and this helps in the development of new branches, leaves, fruits, flowers and all. So they are present only in the nodal region. The apical meristem, where it is present? It is present in the apical tip of the stem and also that of the root, and the lateral meristem is present in the center in the stem as a circle that helps in the width of the growth in the width of the stem, whereas the intercalary meristem is present at the nodal regions of the stem that helps in the development of new branches, leaves, fruits, etc. Understood, children? So like that we can differentiate the meristem into three different types. So this is a very important topic and very important question to be asked commonly in the exam. So all of you need to learn this very well. Okay, so you all can observe this. This is not a very difficult activity to be carried out. You can pluck any branch from the surroundings and observe the different types of meristematic tissue in that. Okay, then automatically you will understand very well. Okay, so here I write the table about the meristematic tissue. Please copy this down in your notebook. You can make a table as I suggested in the first lesson also. The table would be like this. Okay, this is the tissue name. And here these are the characteristics. Okay. See, all this I have prepared the gist, but since you all cannot come to the school and take the gist, you can please note down in the notes what I am writing on the board. Whatever I have given the gist, the same thing I am writing on the board. Easy for you all to learn. Okay, so the first one is the meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue. This is the meristematic tissue. Here I put an arrow and write the characteristics. What it is? It brings overall growth. It brings about growth. Okay. Next point is growth and repair. And repair. You learn these points, that's enough. You need not by heart the whole textbook. Okay, they possess a thin cell wall. Possess a thin cell wall. Prominent nucleus. Prominent nucleus. Next, abundant cytoplasm. Abundant cytoplasm. Okay, next one. In this we shall study The first one in this is types. Under types we study about the first one, that is apical meristem. The apical meristem. Okay, it occurs at root and shoot tip. It occurs at root and shoot tip. Occurs at root and shoot tip. Produces growth in stem and root length. Helps in growth of root and shoot length. Okay, so that is about apical meristem. The second one is B. We shall write about lateral meristem. Lateral it is present around the edges of root and stem. It is present around the edges of root and stem, root and stem in lateral manner. In lateral manner. That means as a ring I told, no, that only as a in lateral manner. Okay. It brings about, what is the function? It helps in increase in girth. Increase in girth. Girth is nothing but width of the stem. Width of the stem and root. Okay, so that is the lateral meristem. Now the third one is intercalary meristem. Intercalary meristem. Okay, the intercalary meristem is thin wall and it is present at the nodes of the stem and helps in, okay, and it helps in formation of, okay, it helps in the formation of new branches, leaves, flowers, etc. Okay, so the intercalary meristem helps in the formation of new branches, leaves and flowers, whereas the lateral meristem helps in the width or the girth of the stem is increased because of this. Okay, the apical meristem helps in the height of the stem and also that of the root. Okay, so please note this down, then I'll give the diagram. Okay, so you all note this down, then I rub it off and give the diagram. Under the characteristics only you can draw the diagram. Here I am drawing in the center, but in your notebook you can draw it under the characteristics. Okay, like this it is. You carefully observe, you can find this type of things in the branches. Pluck any branch and find out all these things in that. Okay, so in this region they are actively dividing, so they are very small and irregular. You can just fill in with the help of any regular shaped cells. No particular shape is there for now, as they are continuously dividing and they are pressing each other, so that more and more cells could be formed in this region. So just like that you can fill this whole region with the rapidly dividing cells. Okay, so this will form the apical meristem. Like this you could be forming. Then you could be forming from here also. Okay, see how the new branches are being formed in this region. Okay, sorry children, there is power cut. 1 second, I'll just put on the light. Children, see there was a power disruption, power had gone, so I had stopped in between. I had to stop. Again we shall start. I had been explaining about the diagram of the meristematic tissue, so I have completed the diagram. So please watch here. And I have labeled the diagram also. Here in this what I have drawn, this part is the apical meristem, like I have shown in the mango shoot. Tip of the mango I have shown, isn't it? In the beginning of the video, there you have seen. So that is the apical meristem. Okay, then here you can see, okay, from the this part is wider. So as the plant grows, the lower part becomes wider and wider, because I told that there is a ring of meristematic tissue in the stem. So that region you can see the lateral meristem. And the last part, the third type, that is the intercalary meristem. So this intercalary meristem can be seen here. That means what? From here the new branches can arise like this. Okay, so for that you can see a small area that is having the meristematic tissue. So where this intercalary meristem is present, it is present at the nodes of the stem, isn't it? That helps in the formation of new branches, leaves, fruits, etc. Leaves, flowers, etc. Okay, so that is about intercalary meristem. Lateral meristem helps in the growth of width of the plant or the girth of the plant, whereas the apical meristem helps in the growth of length of the plant. So like this we see that the meristematic tissue helps in the overall growth and repair of the plant parts. Understood children? So this diagram you have to draw, and you all have to write the three types of meristematic tissue in your running notes, and please send that picture to me children. Understood? Without fail all of you have to do that. Okay, so for now that's all. So in the next video I shall continue with the next part, that is the dermal tissue and also the ground tissue. Thank you children.